welcome to the Relish and Get podcast where we devour everything in the TWD universe. I'm Dawn.
I'm Eliza.
I'm Barb.
And we're missing Carol tonight, so we miss you, Carol.
Yeah, feel better, babe.
We'd like to introduce, we're very excited to have Kirk Manley with us tonight.
Yay!
What's up?
Welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
For those who don't know who Kirk is,
Which is probably a lot of people.
he is artist extraordinaire, and he actually was pretty much the show artist for Walker Stalker when it was in existence.
Yeah.
You did all of their show posters.
Yeah, I started doing their show posters in 2014. I think it was the first show in New York. It was New York/New Jersey. And I did that, and it was so successful that they asked me to come back, and then it kind of just became a regular thing for a number of years. Actually, what happened was James, the guy who ran the show, after a couple of years, wanted to experiment with some other artists. So I said, no problem, I understand, but when I did the show posters for him, for Walker Stalker, I could not include any actual likenesses of the actors because of the legal arrangement that they had with the show and the fact that, there was all sorts of rights issues and all that kind of stuff. So they were much more generic. They were more focused around zombies and around the city that the show was taking place in. And then when he decided to try some other people, I did my own show poster, and then I could put the actual likenesses. I think the first one of those I did was in Chicago, and I did the most of the cast that was there as the Cubs. I think it was the Cubs. I had them dressed up as the Chicago Cubs because they won the World Series for the first time in I don't know how many 100,000 years or something. so boy, that thing was sold like hotcakes, and that was it. I never went back to doing the show posters because it was just too lucrative for me to do my own. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's really what people wanted. They wanted to have the actual actors and likenesses in the pieces. So
when did you start getting into it?
When did I start getting into what?
Art.
Oh, in art in general? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I've been doodling and drawing since I was 8 years old. I'm a big comic book fan. Started reading comics when I was really little, and mainly superhero comic books, mainly Marvel, but some DC too. And traced a lot of the comics and was just fascinated with how they could get such detail and each panel within a comic book is like a piece of the story and a piece of art. So I always found that just fascinating. It was hard enough for me to do one piece than, to think that they're doing 6, 7, 8 per page on a 22-page book. So I just didn't know how that became a fascination of mine. So I studied that most of my life, and I've done some comic book work for DC, did a self-published book called Z-Girl and the Four Tigers, which was pretty successful for a little while, and still do some stuff. Just did a book recently for a company out of LA and for Scout Comics called Cadillacs, and it was all about these vampires that come across this dimensional rift, and they drive these awesome Cadillacs. And
no, wow, okay,
yeah, it's cool. It's
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's cool. They're trying to make it into a movie, so we'll see.
Wow.
Kirk, what is your day job?
This is my day, my night, my afternoon, my weekend, my everything. But I do commercial work, commercial illustration, books, editorial. In addition to advertising, storyboards, any kind of art-based work that I can get. Yeah.
Well, that's great that you're able to actually do what you love to do. And,
I didn't always. I started out in retail, working in advertising for retail companies. Moved up the ladder pretty fast in there and ended up becoming more of a manager. was like director of advertising and those kind of titles. So I'd have a group of people underneath me, and we producing either the catalogs or in-store media and the signage and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't actually do anything. I did budgets and managing people and systems and stuff like that. So the more I moved up, the more I moved away from art.
Yeah.
So, but then in the 80s, a lot of retail stuff got consolidated, the late 80s. That was, Target came out east, so did Walmart, and that kind of put a lot of the regional discount department stores and stuff that I was working for out of business. So I was kind of had an opportunity with, a pension, not a pension, but a package that I had to kind of try to start my own thing for, I had a few months. And so I just started doing that, and it worked out really well.
We've got some slides of some of your work, and the first one I'm going to put up, you and I had talked, has really kind of blown up. And this is your Taylor Swift piece that you've just done.
Yeah. My daughter is a diehard, and for that matter, my wife is too, Swiftie. So, of course, and then I was getting ready for the first show of, I guess the first show last year for me was Atlanta, but then my first big summer show was in June, I think June or July, and it was in New Jersey, and the Eras Tour had just kind of started to explode, online, and everybody was going, everybody's trying to get tickets, and it was just crazy. And it just kind of occurred to me one afternoon. And then I went and talked to my daughter and my wife and said, "Do you think this would be a good idea?" And they're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "But not a lot of Taylor Swift people come to comic conventions, But
Yeah.
But how wrong I was, because what happens is everybody knows somebody. If they don't like Taylor themselves, they know somebody that does. And
I saw a lot of those when I was walking around Atlanta Comic Con. I saw a lot of people carrying those.
Yeah, I sold a lot of them. The first, the first show I had it at was, was it New Jersey? Actually, it wasn't New Jersey. I think New Jersey is when we started talking about it. I think the first show I brought it to was New York Comic Con in October. And I brought, I don't know how many, 40 or 50 copies. I sold out of it in 3 days, and the show was a 4-day show. So I felt bad on Sunday. I didn't have anything. And then I turned around a couple weeks later, went to Rhode Island. Now, Rhode Island Comic Con is much more like a really comic book based show. But man, I didn't do the same thing, sell out of it again. So, and then down in Atlanta just recently, I sold quite a few. So, and again, same thing. A lot of times people are buying something and then they're saying, "Oh, give me that too, because I'm going to bring it home to my daughter, my wife, my sister, my friend."
Yeah.
So,
and I love your Spider-Man piece next to it. To me, it gives a 1960s, I want a black light, on that. The colors in it are fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, if you're familiar with that series at all, or that series of movies, color is just such an important part. Color and music, as well as a fantastic story and amazing animation. But all of it's just a phenomenal, I think, couple movies. So I desperately wanted to try and bring some of the flavor of that color into the piece.
For those of you who go out to fan conventions, if you're wanting to know where you can find him, you'll find him usually on a corner spot, Studio KM, Batman. And then look, there's our Barb with Batman.
There we are. Was that this Atlanta? No, it was
last year.
That was last year's, yeah. I don't think when you guys came over to my booth this year, I feel really bad. I'm so sorry. I don't think we got pictures.
Yeah.
The Living Dead Museum, my cousin, go ahead, Dawn.
I said he was busy.
Oh, yeah.
It was nuts. That was on Saturday, I think. And I actually, it's one of the biggest days I've ever done at a show. That Saturday. Wow. I don't know why, because Friday was okay, wasn't great, and Sunday was mediocre, but Saturday was just the biggest show I've ever had, any single day.
Now this slide here, my cousin, I'm originally from Long Island, New York, and my cousin still lives in Queens. So she went here, not knowing she sent me that print. So I told her tonight that you're on. She's like, "That's the same guy." I'm like, "Yes, I thought I told you that." So I have that. Good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
This
that was really fun. That was a standout for me last year.
I start to say this was a high honor because we actually had Suki Martinson on earlier.
Oh, Suki, I love Suki.
And we know that she was one of the spotlighted artists, but they actually came to you to be their feature artist, to design the poster, and all of the merchandise was then off of your art piece.
Yeah.
How did that come about, Kirk?
Well, I'll tell you, my understanding of how that all transpired is that the museum decided they wanted to coordinate with AMC and do this program, right? Do this gallery for whatever it was, 6 months or a year. I think originally it was supposed to be 6 months, and it went longer. I think I'm not positive, but and so they had a couple different meetings with them. And one of the times they flew out to LA and went to the writers, and I suppose met with Scott Gimple and Angela Kang and the writers and everything else. And all around, I don't know if any of you guys are aware of this or not, but for a long time when I was doing the episode art for the Walking Dead shows, those became really popular online, and a lot of the showrunners and writers and as directors and stuff would comment and connect with me on mainly on Twitter with that. And so Scott Gimple had reached out to me and asked for a collection of all of certain, I think it was the last season I had done. And unbeknownst to me, they took those, framed them, and put them all over the walls in the writer rooms.
Wow.
And so if you go into there, and then they sent me a link a while later of an interview they were doing that was on Facebook or something. And they went through the whole writer rooms area. So you could see it. I was like, wow, it blew my mind. But so the people from the MoMA went out there, and when they were walking around in the writer's room, they saw that, they were like, who's this artist? Who's this? What's this all about? You know what I mean? So they connected them with me, and they felt very strongly based on the fact that, I had done so much Walking Dead work, and that also it was very popular with the show creatives, that they wanted to use me. So I was just very fortunate, kind of the right place at the right time.
That was such an honor, and kudos to Daddy Gimple reaching out to you and wanting a full collection. Yeah. I mean, your work stands apart from so many. It's so realistic. It's
that's very generous. Thank you.
And I've been a huge supporter of yours forever.
Yes, you have. Absolutely.
Now, there was a. Are you able to sell this print now, or?
In our deal during the show, I could not use any of the art, but there was no specification that I couldn't sell prints of it at the show after the show came down. And I removed the logo and that kind of stuff, and just sell it as a print with just the art.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are, and you're not just a Walking Dead artist, like we see. We've already seen Swift and Spider-Man, but Supernatural fans would like this. And
well, what actually happened is that as The Walking Dead started to wane a little bit, and as my work got more popular, people were demanding or asking for or wanting other shows, and so I was having to spend time on doing other stuff, which meant I couldn't do the episode specific stuff. So I started doing more, less episode specific Walking Dead stuff, and that expanded. And so then, but that was necessary because I had to open up in order to do well at the shows. I had to offer more than just Walking Dead at that point. So that's kind of what happened. There was a fan of the Walking Dead work, but of other pieces that I'd done, who came to me and commissioned that Supernatural piece. I had to make some changes of it so that it's the piece she has is unique, but but that's how that came to be, because I've actually never watched the show. But she had a specific event she was planning to go to. She wanted to have a piece like this, that had everybody in it. And so that's how that worked out.
Kirk,
And
what
then,
piece are you most proud of?
boy, in terms of an individual piece of mine, or in terms of, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just keep moving on to the next thing, it's always been the case. And again, I'm sure if Eliza, especially since you've been following me for a long time, you can see how my work has evolved. My focus prior to getting into this was never about getting likenesses just right. You know what I mean? And so that became more a focus for me as I did more and more of these kind of pieces, because people, they want to get something that's representative of the show that they love, but it's got to look like the people. Otherwise, what's the point? You know what I mean? So as a result, my work has changed quite a bit from when I started out. It was much more comic booky like, which was my, as I had mentioned at the top, kind of my origin story. And but then, so now it's more trying to be cinematic and more realistic in terms of likenesses and things. So that's evolved quite a bit. So as a result, what's kind of happened with me is that I always love most the thing I did last.
Well, it's kind of like, how do you pick between your children, right?
Well, we don't pick. I don't pick.
So Kirk, I think I have sent you and your wife on vacation a couple of times. Because, yeah, you've done a lot of commissions for me.
Yes, I have.
And last fall, I commissioned you to do some very specific posters for the ladies in my group. And
yes, you did.
so the first one here is Barb and Dawn with their appropriate men.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, I think I teared up when I looked at that.
I really enjoyed doing these pieces because they were so personal, and they were so it was freeing to some degree, because I didn't have to try and include all sorts of details with regards to an episode or a series or a season. I could just kind of pick the best ideal pose. I could find the coolest zombie. I could spend more time on that zombie. I could spend more time on the two characters, about the likenesses, and just really focus on it, and tried something different with the designing of the, or I don't know what you would call that, almost neoclassic or
very neoclassic style with like a photograph with a frame silhouetting.
Well, when she gave it to me, I was in shock and I cried. So I think we all did.
Well, I've never known anybody as generous as Eliza. And
here's our friend Carol.
Yeah.
Now this is one that you did for me.
Yes.
And I think you came back to me after you did this for me and asked if you could use this. You took me out and put Michonne in.
Don't take it personal.
So now folks can actually buy this, I believe, from you, but it's got Michonne there instead of me. And but this is the original, everybody. This is me, not Michonne.
Yep, that's right.
And I love this piece. I've had Jeffrey and Melissa both have signed it. So
that's wonderful. That's awesome.
And
this one was great.
So again, this is vacation number 2 for him and his wife. But I wanted to show these slides because Kirk he's so great about when I'm working with him. He sends me his sketches. He sends me his color lay. We swapped people around. We wanted to make sure that we had the right people by the right actor. So this kind of just shows everybody just kind of his process. So we started with, the black and white sketch.
Well, actually, that's the line art. Before
art.
This was a actual pencil sketch that was much rougher. And then we moved some people around at that stage, and then I did the line art, and then I think we did we move? I don't know if we did any moving after that. The reason I try to work this way as much as possible with clients or with commissions, or because it's always listen, as a commissioned artist, my goal is to give you what you want, you know what I mean, and meet the goals that you've kind of stated that you need to accomplish in the piece. So if I do a sketch of how it's all going to lay out, where everyone's going to be, what it's going to look like, basically gives you a good sense of that, then it's easy to move things around at that stage.
Yeah.
It's easy to make other things more the focus. Then the line art, again, easier then to do it when it starts getting into to color. And then, of course, when it's at this stage, it becomes really hard when it's to make a big change.
Yeah. And
so,
we did make a few changes as we were going through it. Yeah. This was our final piece, and everybody in the Awesome Dead family has a copy of this. So I was really proud of this. I have.
Am I an honorary member of the Awesome Dead family?
You really should be. So all of the family got an 11x17. I got a 16x24. So I have the big mother on my door.
Nice.
And then I went back to Kirk for another trip, number 3 for him and his wife. And I had him do The Squawking Dead.
You're making me feel really, really guilty about not having done more on the From piece yet.
But I'm adding up my frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
So he did this one for the Squawking Dead, and what was so fun about this one is it's got a Ghostbuster feel to it,
Right.
So it was really cool. Now, I have known Kirk a while, and I have been honored to be zombified in
multiple times, right?
Three or 4 of your show posters.
Yeah.
So I'm in
Nashville,
I'm in the
Atlanta.
Nashville poster here. I'm in and then the Atlanta poster here, and I believe I was in another Nashville poster. So yeah. I've been able to make it into the big game. So
that was a lot of fun. That aspect of doing the show posters was a lot of fun, because I used to get particular supportive fans. Occasionally I could get them in. Sometimes other artists, like Black and White guy, Robin, rest his R.I.P. And Rob Pryor, and then sometimes James, and people who ran the show, and then fans, and other exhibitors, like down in the lower left. The Nashville one is they used to do the T-shirts. Randy and Angie and Randy.
Yeah.
And it's just people that I had made friendships with, and it was a nice way to just kind of include them.
Yeah, as Carol put up there, let's play Where's Eliza? It was obviously a privilege. This is another Atlanta poster from 2023.
I have that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't end up doing one for this most recent Atlanta show, and the reason is that the negotiations with them on my coming down started kind of late, and then they moved the show up, so it was a little bit earlier, and then they put in tons of great guests last minute.
Right.
And it wasn't realistic to be able to get that done in time. And I felt really bad, because a lot of people stopped by all through the weekend, looking specifically for this year's.
Well, that's kind of what you've become known for, is those fantastic show posters.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites that I have. It's like the OGs, right?
Yeah. Right.
And the detail and everything is amazing.
Yeah, that has been a popular one.
Here's Negan. This is one of my all-time favorites that I've gotten from you. In fact, trip number 5. When Kirk was going to do, he wanted to do kind of a Walking Dead tribute of several different posters from several different, like, particular episodes. One of the ones that you did was Look at the Flowers.
Yep.
But it's not the Grove. It's actually when Carol is holding the head of Alpha.
Right. That was the name of that episode, though.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, it was.
Yep. Yep.
And then here's Negan. And so he came to me and he goes, what are some really important shows or episodes from this particular season? And I gave him several. So I've been his muse and his vacation payer. Now, I had nothing to do with this one. This is all Kirk.
Well, the reason I did this piece is because I really, really enjoyed this show. I love The Walking Dead. I will always love The Walking Dead. I'll always be a fan. I'll always support it. I'll always watch it. But the main show had lost a lot of its, connection with me. And I guess maybe it started to feel a little bit repetitive and soap opera-y a little bit. And so when the spinoffs came, I wanted to make sure I gave them all a try. And I've enjoyed them a lot, all 3 of them. Though I haven't had a chance to finish Dead City. I got about halfway through and then I got interrupted and I haven't been able to go back. But boy, I was riveted by the Daryl Dixon show. I think it's because I love that character. I mean, I'm a Michonne character lover first. I mean, that's if I had to list the characters that are my favorite in Walking Dead, it would be Michonne, probably then Daryl, Rick, probably then Glenn. But so
now you know why you were replaced with Michonne, Eliza.
That's why I was replaced with Michonne. Exactly. Crap.
But so I really enjoyed the show because I felt like by going overseas, I think a lot of people were really nervous about that. I know I was. They also, I noticed in the credits, they all of the creative staff was from over there. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the writing was done by people over there, and as a result, it had a very different feel. Plus, to see Daryl, a character who was, like my second favorite character of all time on the show, who basically had like 4 lines a season. No matter how many, he was in every episode, but it was still, he never spoke, I mean, there was no character development in that guy, and you wanted it so bad, and so this is quite different. All of a sudden, it's all just him, and it's there was some great character development. I loved the cast that they put around him. I just thought it was really well done. Did you guys enjoy the show?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We love the scene.
We love what?
The scenery.
Yeah. It was beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. I like that they introduced different types of zombies. Mm-hmm. So you've got some kind of variation to the threat. Oh, you don't like that?
Mm-mm. Yeah, I want those slow, dumb ones. I mean, I don't want those.
Well, they're still there. They're still around, but
have to add some excitement, Eliza.
Yeah, well, it just the threat had kind of become, at this point, it was like, like colonial days when people had to deal with wolves and bears and things like that coming across the U.S. It's like that's part of life now. You got these zombies. Mm-hmm. You got to be aware that they're there and you're going to deal with them. This kind of ratcheted it back up. Said they're now a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So I liked that a lot. So.
And of course, this is where we're at now. The Ones Who Live.
Oh, there's the exclusive. There it is.
There it is on the left.
Yeah.
So how are you liking this one?
I'm still, I like it a lot. It's not exactly what I was expecting, but I'm curious as to where it's going to go. I enjoyed the first episode more as it had time to percolate for me. I felt when I was watching it was a bit all over the place. But then when I watched the second episode where it was more kind of a linear story, I was like, I think I liked the way they did the Rick version better, so that we kind of jumped through time and saw all these different developments and events through time with him, as opposed to her, where we kind of see this initial early period of time and then a bunch of years later kind of situation. And I didn't like that we got introduced to all these new characters, who some of which I liked a lot in that second episode, and they were all gone, by the end. And so that I found that a little bit frustrating. But it's my wife and I joke a lot that it pretty much everywhere the Walking Dead main leads made characters go in the show, everybody that they just bring nothing but death. You know what I mean? It's sad, but any
you
communities
can't like anybody.
everybody they get involved with ends up dying. You know what I mean? So, and they're the heroes. They're supposed to be the good guys. So.
Aiden said in the comments, originally it was a Rick and Eliza Jones spinoff, but she was replaced with Michonne last.
There it is. That's it. That's it right there.
So I'm not the only one that did it?
Yeah, exactly. So now if our fourth compadre was here, Carol, she would be focusing in on this Atlanta special poster that you did that's kind of got all of the red in it, because she was talking about how the utilization of color in film for certain moments and undertones and foreshadowing. And there was there still is a tremendous amount of red. So was that kind of where you were going with that?
You mean in the show itself it uses a lot of red?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Red theory,
Now you're going to go back and rewatch it, aren't you?
Well, not. Well, I had done this prior to seeing the show. The show hadn't been out yet, so no, I wasn't. Wow. I wasn't really influenced by the show, but I was influenced by a lot of the marketing and promotional work that they had done, because they used a lot of red. So I felt it was important to relate to that, and it's because everybody was kind of now tuned into that as being the color scheme for that show, or at least for the promotional aspect of it, the marketing of it. So did we just lose Eliza? Or?
Did she freeze?
She's spinning. So is Barb. Barb's actually frozen. Oh no, there you are. There she is.
Her internet might be bad. I don't know what happened there.
I have to go in or go out and come back in, Eliza.
Eliza!
I can text her.
I
can't text her. I can't text her. I'm on my phone.
I've never seen her freeze before. I've never seen her freeze before. I think that's a first.
Well,
she's still mad. She's mad because I put Michonne in instead of her.
Yeah.
So when I was at AtlantaCon this year, I picked up this one.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Because I'm going to meet Michael Trainer in May. And Nicholas, so I was going to get him to sign this piece, and I'm so excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, that was there have been, like I said, I've done so many episodes, but there were certain ones that just really did really well in terms of being popular, like the one that looks like The Last Supper, obviously is still does well. And that thank you one is also one that's popular. It's very different than my usual stuff. So every once in a while, I break out of my usual style, and sometimes it's a hit, and a lot of times it's not.
And then I picked up this one.
Oh yeah,
I love The Governor.
Yeah,
I love that whole season.
Yep.
That's a
great. What happened, Lisa?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to come back as Michonne.
Michonne, stand up.
I got one for you.
Yeah, that Last Supper one was pretty badass for sure.
I was going to try to get back to it.
It's funny though, when we were talking about earlier about how my style has evolved. You can see so much. This was so many years back and so much earlier in my process. You
When I
can see
first
that
looked at it, I didn't even know it was on the plates. I was like looking at all your details and seeing like
yeah. Well,
Dawn had to tell me, well, look at it.
Yeah, but you can feel much more the comic book black line art filled in color versus like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
Very
I mean?
much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with that idea about having something on the plate that reflected off them?
Well, it just seemed like, you know, what's funny too. I'll answer that question, but I have a tendency to forget things, so I just remembered this. I actually have the pencil. That was back when I was still doing pencil. I draw now on the computer, and that I have the original pencil, and there was so much detail in that I did it on two 11 by 17 pieces taped together in the back. Wow. So it's actually 17 by 22, and yeah, I still have that. I should sell some of that work, but some of that pencil work.
That would be a great auction item for you to do.
Yeah, yeah. It was a way. I felt like it was important to. Well, first of all, I had to line them up. There's some couple funny stories with that piece. One was the fact that I had to draw that so large, but then the other was that I got it all done, the pencil work. And at the time, I was very close with somebody who used to consult with me on my work, and they said, "Yo, they're not in the order that they were kneeling." I was like, "Come on, man! People get it. People understand." They're like, "No, man, you can't do that. They got to be in the order that they were kneeling in, because you've got them lined up like that. It's the whole point of the." So I had to go back in and redraw like a whole bunch of them and different pull ones out, put it over here. Oh, it was just crazy. But I'm so glad it was really good advice, because everybody focused on that right away when they saw that.
The fans would have known it. The fans would have known it. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And in terms of the detail on what's on their plates, it just felt like a way for me to communicate through the art aspects of the character's story arc.
That's fantastic.
And that, you know, in that episode, for instance, Michonne and Rick start out in the morning in bed, and they're sharing an apple, and they're talking about how they're the ones who live, and this is how great life is and everything else. So for front of her, I put the apple. It's like half eaten and rotted, and there's worms coming out of it, and everything, because obviously that isn't what happened with it. It wasn't such a great situation. And then with Rick, he kept telling Maggie that, you know, again, very similar. We're not. It's, you know, nothing bad happens to us. We're the ones who live. It's, you know, everything else. And of course, that he had to eat that crow. So I put crow on his plate and just things like that. Maggie has a thing of pickles because she's pregnant, and I think let's see who else. Glenn had the baby stuff, you know, on his plate, the pacifier and stuff like that. And
Eugene,
what did Eugene? He had the bullets, I think, right?
Okay.
And
I don't remember.
Yeah, and Ross, your boy, had a couple of license plates because of his whole thing, you know. And then
that's such a fantastic idea. That was
Rosita
amazing.
was holding a heart. That was a human heart and bleeding all over because she had her heart ripped out by Abraham. He had the Bisquick, you know, pancakes.
Daryl?
So, Daryl is got no plate, and he has a broken arrow. Because he's basically broken in that, you know, at that point, they were all broken at that point.
And Carl. And
Carl's got the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Sasha, what did Sasha have? I think of the hammer, her brother's hammer. Okay.
Yeah, because of her loss for her brother and stuff. And, you know, it was just I wanted to get in, you know, I wanted to get in Morgan and because that's really also the first time we see the people from the kingdom. So there was a lot that had to get into that piece.
Oh, and somebody mentioned, I forgot, Abraham.
He's got the Bisquick.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a fantastic piece because at first glance you don't realize it, but there's so much depth to it.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Jeff, I had that in my hand, like, and I kept deciding and deciding. I'm like, not yet, because I have no more wall space. But I absolutely love that piece.
Yeah.
Thanks. I've often, again, coming back to the progression in my style, I've often thought about going back and redoing that piece in my current style, so that, but I kind of feel I always hear art teachers from my younger years and in college and stuff, and just each piece is a journey to the next piece. You just got to keep moving forward. Don't go back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
what would you do differently with that?
Well, I would just work harder on getting their character likenesses better.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that they look more realistic, or as my brother calls my work, cinematic. More cinematic.
Would you consider that as a commission piece?
I'm a little booked right. I'm a little booked right now. I got some priorities. I had some people in front of you there.
I'll call you next year.
Actually,
After your next 5 trips from Eliza.
I have 4 commissions right now. One is completely unrelated to this world, and then 2 of them are from, and one of those, there's a, I don't know if I told you. Did I tell you this, Eliza? That I was doing another front piece. They're the way they want to do is they want to do a one for each season. So so it's a little different. Cool. We're going to do that very comic book style. It's going to have like a comic book cover style, which is also something I do a lot.
Yeah.
But
I'm already getting ideas.
You getting it? Yeah.
Yeah. He and we've been talking already about mine and stuff.
Yeah.
I said when you get it done, we're sending a copy of it to Liz Saunders so that she'll have a copy as well.
I was thinking more. I would love to have a Commonwealth piece with Teo and Lance and Pamela and be in it because I love the Commonwealth.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? How do you think? Well, I got 2 questions. I got questions for you guys. First of all, so how long have you guys been doing this? Because I only became aware of the fact that you do this show. I don't know, 6 months to a year ago, maybe a little less.
June is we started in June 18th. Is that what we found? June 18th. 19th. June 19th.
That's
now
awesome.
I was on another podcast and then I moved to this one. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think it's great. I've watched a couple of them, and you guys get right into the details, man. And Liza, you on the front, watch one of your from ones. Holy moly. You just dig right in. You go deep down the rabbit hole.
Well, and we've got Scott McCord that plays Victor. He's going to be on next Thursday.
That's awesome.
So,
and you had Smiley on just the other day, right?
That was fantastic too.
Yeah, we had Smiley. And then if you're liking the ones who live, Dawn, who do we have Monday night?
Matthew Jeffers played Nat.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. We're really excited because I told the ladies, I said, when we get old, we can go back and watch all this collection of videos that we have.
Well, don't wait till then.
When we get old, hell, I'm already
old. So I can't do that. I can't go back anymore. What do you guys thinking? What do you guys think of the Daryl show?
I love it.
Holy moly, that was a long pause.
We were wondering who was going to talk
Wait a minute,
first.
let me ask another question.
No, we were wondering who was going to go first.
I don't want to know.
It's not one of my favorites.
It is or it's not?
It's not.
Not, okay.
It was okay to me the whole time I was watching it. I was like, Daryl needs to get back home. Like, like I'm invested in these characters and they're making me get invested in these other people that I want him back home. Or finding Rick.
He's out there for a reason. Possessive. Why is he messing around with nuns? Go away. Go find Rick.
And when I saw the kid on the beach, I was like, no, go back.
Who
Well,
cares?
you
Where's
guys,
Rick?
Don't care. Where's Rick?
Yeah.
you guys are Carol Darrell lovers, right?
Rick. Yeah, Carol
Okay.
Well,
Darrell.
they're and mothership lovers. They're mothership
Yeah.
lovers. They want them all back together again.
Ah,
At a picnic.
yeah,
I loved it because I love the scenery. I love the old world feel. I
yeah,
love the musical score.
yeah.
And I love the introduction of the variants. And I think that that's a CRM tie that's got
Oh,
them.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
But yeah, but we want everybody. We want everybody to come home.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and they will. I mean, Walking Dead was always famous for that, right? I mean, they'd split people up, they'd throw people over here, they'd have these people go over there, and then the journey was that season of them coming back together. So it's just these are a little bit more extreme.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
Yeah.
Dead City,
I
for
yeah,
Dead
what about
City,
Dead City?
I had to bang my head up against the wall.
I love Dead City.
Hated it.
I love Dead City.
Hated it.
I found good and bad in the shows, but that was the worst one for me. Sorry.
I love Dead City because I love Maggie. I love OG Maggie.
Well, I love her too, and I love Negan, but I don't know.
Yeah, I like Maggie a lot. And I love Negan. I think he's a great character. In fact, I should have included him in my list of favorite characters. Just, he's a fantastic actor, and the character is very complex, and I love that. And he's just great. I just think the idea of them together just makes no sense to me. I just could not see them. And then I'm not all the way through that season, but they kind of just ditched the whole storyline where he got married again and had kids, and I was like, why?
We're always asking, where's this one? Where's that one? Like, whatever
Yeah.
happened to Heath? Whatever happened to Georgie? What?
And I thought that they already did the whole is Maggie going to stab him in the back? Is he going to turn bad and take her out, kind of thing within the final season of the show?
Mhm.
I didn't see the need to continue to have that same kind of storyline. They just had not progressed. You know what I mean?
They're going to come back to Alexandria holding hands. It's going to be crazy.
You think
angry
so, huh?
Sex. It's going to be crazy, angry sex.
See,
And then they're gonna get blown up.
I think a better show would have been to have Negan and Carol.
Oh yeah.
I think they would have been fantastic, because she doesn't take his shit. But yet she's just as ruthless and tough as he is. And I don't know, I could have seen that. I think that would have been really good.
Been great.
But
Keegan.
So, Kirk, do you have a story of one of the actors from the show that you got out about and you were like excited that you met while you were at the con?
Oh, I didn't this most recent con, I didn't get to see anybody. I didn't get to leave the booth. It was so much a zoo, but I've met so many, and it's every single one that I've met has been just fantastic. It's just been the sweetest people. And I mean, I've had no bad experiences with any of them. They're always so generous, so appreciative of the work, that myself or other, Walking Dead artists that would be at the shows would bring to them. And I just always had a great experience with it.
Do you have
it was funny because
memory?
sometimes there would be somebody, I'd go and meet a bunch of them, and then they'd have some other non-Walking Dead actors there or something, like, I hate to badmouth anybody, but I love Hellboy because, again, I'm a comic book guy, and Ron Perlman was at a show once, and I was meeting all these people. And in fact, I think it was that Chicago show I was talking about where I had that first show poster, and everybody was freaking out about it from the actors' point of view, because they were like seeing themselves in the piece. And then, some of them were been in Chicago a lot, or loved the Cubs. And so they were sending people over to get copies and bring me over to meet them and stuff like that. And that was awesome. So then I saw that Perlman was there, and I wanted to go. Man, I tell you, that was not a good experience.
Wow.
So, it's The Walking Dead people always seem to really appreciate the fans tremendously. I got to meet Norman Reedus once, and gave me a big hug, and just really such nice things about my work. And I met some of them. I don't remember their actor names, but who's the guy that plays Eugene?
Josh McDermott.
Probably the most the one that stands out in my mind, because it was at that first show in New Jersey, and he had been following my work online, everybody and everything, and I had done a piece recently I guess there had been an episode recently, and he was the feature, and he was walking around the show, and it was near the end of the show. And he came up to my booth, and he was just like, "Oh my God, I've been looking for you all day. We've been walking up and down the aisles trying to find you. And also, I love your work. It's so great." And they were just so nice. And that's the one that stands out the most. But I just can't, it was very much like a big family, not only with the show and the creators, and as well as the actors. But also the exhibitors. I made a lot of friends, and the fans. I made a lot of friends, and I got to meet some wonderful people, and all the artists, for the most part. We all got along really, really well, and for a long time, and would help each other out, and communicate with each other after shows. Support each other, and that was really nice too. So, and meeting all you guys, just making friends. It's just been a tremendous experience. Unlike any other, I'm sure lots of shows build great rapport with their fan base, but I don't think there's anything quite like Walking Dead. Now, maybe it's because of the fact that they had their own successful chain of shows, of the Walker Stalker shows. That whole phenomena really kind of allowed everybody to kind of meet in one place a couple of times a year and celebrate the show. And not a lot of shows have that. They might be part of a bigger show, but they weren't a dedicated show. So whatever it was, it really it was unique to that period of time and that show.
For sure.
I don't know if they'll ever be like that again.
Well, we have been so honored and thankful to have you here, and you very graciously are going to donate some prints tonight as we do Barb's trivia.
Don't go anywhere, Regina.
So Barb has some trivia questions, guys. Dawn and I are going to be watching for the names. And the first.
Do you want to show the? Do you want to show? Yeah. Do you want to show the pictures again?
Yeah. Let's show the pictures. So the first one is going to be the Daryl piece. Let me get back to it. So this is going to be the new Daryl piece that Kirk has finished. All right, Barb, shoot.
Yeah, so I'm going to have this little trivia question here, and
walk me through how this works. So you guys have a trivia question, and then there's people watching that comment.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to answer in the comments.
Yeah. So you're on your phone, Kurt, so you can't see the comments that are on, but everybody's been saying how much they love you and love your work, and so we're gonna follow in the comments for the first person that gets it right.
Now, do we want all three different winners?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All three different winners.
Do we have 3 posters?
Yes.
We can do 4, but I have 3.
We can do 3. Yeah.
Okay, 3.
All right, everybody in the comments, ready for some Walking Dead trivia? All right.
I shouldn't answer, right?
No. Well, if you want to win it back, you can.
I'm not very good at trivia games, so I probably wouldn't be any good anyway.
No, Carol. Carol goes, "Can I play?" No. She already knows the answers. We asked these when we were driving in the car, Carol. All right. Question number 1. Rick tries to convince Ezekiel to fight the Saviors. What story does Rick tell Ezekiel?
Wow.
What story does Rick tell Ezekiel?
I've already failed.
Close.
Jason, that's close enough. Stone in the road, Jason said.
Is it Sandy?
So what was the answer?
Hold on.
Sandy got it. Sandy Morrison, Rockin' the Road.
Rocking the road.
Rockin' the
It's also the name of
Road.
the episode.
Yeah.
Good job, Sandy.
I love that episode. One of the best zombie kill episodes ever. When the Michonne and Rick get in the cars and they drag that big wire chain across and they take out the whole horde driving down the side. That was awesome.
Good job. All right. Good job, Sandy. You won the new Daryl piece.
Yep, I'm writing them down too for you, just in case. Ooh.
And we have one of each of these, right? We have the red version.
Yep.
And we have the Red Death, and then we have the full color. So here we go.
The red one was an exclusive for the Atlanta show. This just a month ago back, and I had 25 that I came down with, and I had one left over here. So it's 25 of 25. It's numbered and it's signed by me. And
okay, perfect. So this is for the Atlanta show exclusive red.
Ready?
All right. Yep.
Season 2, episode 8. What did Herschel have hidden in his dresser drawer?
Exactly.
What did Herschel have hidden in his dresser drawer?
There
wasn't
you go.
elderberry, was it?
Wait. Jason Cohn got it. Is that who you're seeing, Dawn?
Yes.
Jason Cohn, the flask.
Oh, he was a recovering alcoholic, right?
Yep.
Good job. And this final one is for the other.
Herschel's another fantastic character that the show just did a
Have you met
fantastic
him?
job. I do believe I met Scott. Yeah.
Scott
once,
Wilson
I think.
was amazing.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Good job, Jason. Good job, Sandy. We got another one coming. What is it?
This is for the ones who live the color.
Oh, the color. Okay. All right. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
That's the Negan one.
What was the name of Tara's sister?
Oh, fuck.
I know, right? Aiden, right? Is that who you see, Dawn?
Yep. I see it too.
All right, Aiden got it. Lily.
Good job.
Good job. It was Lily. What was this one for?
This was for the color one.
Yeah, the regular color, the ones who live.
All right. We got any more? Or that's it?
That's it. These are just some of his last slides I wanted to show quickly. Right when COVID broke out, he did a vaccinate campaign of various Marvel, DC. Here's some of the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And some of these pieces of his actually hang in Congress in Washington, D.C.
That's awesome.
Again, thanks to our friend Liza.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for donating those for the trivia.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Questions before he goes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with James Lipton, who did the Inside the Actor Studio show?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I love those shows.
So we have gotten out to where we end all of our interviews by asking the Lipton questions.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to
hold on. Let me get ready. Okay, let's go.
What is your favorite? What's your favorite curse word?
I think we already know that one.
This is a really good thing. that you're doing. I like that. That's great that you've brought that into the show. My favorite curse word. Oh, you're going to act. That was actually one of his questions. So are these, you're doing his actual questions?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Favorite curse word. Well, I say the F-bomb quite a bit. It's just kind of a natural thing that just flows off my tongue, sadly.
Okay.
It's funny because I used to get a lot of grief for it. I think more and more people are much more comfortable with cursing now. I don't know if that's because of changes in the media or people are just not as uptight about it. But when I was younger, obviously that was a big no-no. But now it's kind of just accepted. So,
what is your favorite word?
I don't know if I have a favorite word. I mean, I'm sure I probably do, but other people would be better at telling me what that is because it's whatever word I use a lot. But and I'm going to use this story to explain that one possible of those possible words. I used to do a podcast called
Michonne.
Biters. Did you say Michonne?
Someone, Aiden in the comments said Michonne. Sorry.
That's pretty good, actually. Props to that one. I like that one. I used to do a podcast when Walking Dead first came out. It's actually what kind of got me started in doing the episode art. Is I would do the podcast and then we would talk about the episode, and I was so enthralled with it at the time that I wanted to do more. So I started doing illustrations of each episode, and then we would do the podcast and also have the art, and that's kind of how it all kind of got started. But I used to say on there all the time, Jeff Marzik was my co-host, and he used to razz me about it all the time. But I would say juxtaposition. I don't know why, but I was always, then this with that, and it was juxtaposed with this and juxtaposition here and he was just like, awesome. You say juxtapose again one more time, I'm going to kill you. It was just like, let me guess, it was juxtaposition. Right. But so I don't know. That's one that I know I used a lot in the past.
What's your least favorite word?
I'm a pretty liberal guy, without getting political, but I really I do not like hate words, words that are sexist or racist. The M word, the C word. Those are words I don't need to hear, and will never pass my lips. But that's just, thank you. Just me.
Yeah, Barb.
What turns you on?
You mean in terms of in general in life or in art or
however you want to answer it?
However you want to answer it. Yeah.
Well, I'll be
Michonne.
Yeah. I wish I could have gotten it out just a little bit faster. I wish I could have beat you to that.
Same answer for everything.
Yeah, right. Well, the juxtaposition of Michonne and but anyway, I really enjoy when I get into a show or a comic or a series of movies that that just captures me. Like I just finished watching Night Country. I
love that.
And I just love, and when that's just so great when the show like grabs you like that, and it's just like I can't wait to get to the next night so I can sit down and watch another episode of it, And I mean, the Walking Dead was like that too when it started. Just really look forward to it and get lost in it. A good book is like that too, or a good movie, but really like it when a show does that. And it's rare, right. But it happens. So I really enjoy that. That turns me on.
What turns you off?
What turns me off now a lot? Commercials. I think it's because we're all so streaming centered now. You know what I mean? It's like when I sit down and start spinning on the channel, of course my kids don't, my kids grew up with social media and phones and everything. They don't watch regular TV ever anymore, but I grew up watching regular TV. So I'll sit down after dinner or whatever, flip through channels. Man, I can't, if I start watching something and a commercial comes on, I'm gone. I'm like gone. I know it's a weird thing to be turned off by, but maybe it also because it's just, as a culture, everything's hard sell now. It's just, you're getting spam all the time in your email, and you're getting spam calls on your phone, and you're getting messages on your home phone, and you're getting
hacked,
and text messages and commercials on TV, and and it's just it's really it's just become, you feel like some sort of a piece of like a cattle or something,
Right.
So whenever I experience that, I get turned off.
Okay, this is a big one. If you could have a dinner party and you can invite 3 guests, actors or actresses, dead or alive, who would it be? That was my added question.
I suppose I should say Denai Guerrero, right?
Yeah. Michonne, and Michonne.
That's right.
No, Michonne, and Lisa.
Every answer is Michonne. Come on. No, if it's got to be an actor.
Yes.
Actor or actress.
Or actress. You know what I love? I love the round tables. I used to love the actors show there that you mentioned, but I also love the Vanity Fair episodes of round tables with the Academy Award nominated actors for that year or whatever. And so probably people like that I really admire, like Chris Evans from the Captain America movies, and Robert Downey Jr. He's just amazing as Iron Man. But then I don't know if you saw Oppenheimer. Wow, what a film, and what a performance by him. And so definitely those two. I'd have to think about that for a third.
Michonne.
Yeah. Denai Guerrero.
Denai. There we go.
Okay. Go on.
Can't deny.
What's your favorite sound?
Favorite sound. I used to love to listen to my kids sleep, and at least they're breathing. You know what I mean? It's just it's probably the best sound in the whole world. You know what I mean?
Aiden says a direct message from me.
Michonne's voice. I don't know. Is that?
Swear.
Yeah. I mean, it's now now they're older and away in college. So, but that was definitely my favorite sound.
Least favorite sound.
Excuse me?
Least favorite sound.
There's some music that I just can't, like, and I respect everybody's tastes, and people like what they like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, like heavy metal music, oh my God. And it's so funny because the conventions, I used to often be right next to Rob Pryor. I don't know why, it just happened that way, and we became good friends, and as a result, which is awesome. But he would blast music, and a big portion of it, especially in the early years, was this heavy metal stuff. Oh my God, the headaches! I'd go to the hotel that night with, it's like I swear I was bleeding out my ears.
I've heard some of that where it's real, the growling, screaming, and I'm like, I got to go to church after listening to that mess.
Amen.
Amen.
And then this is my added question.
Okay.
You had a birthday party and you could bring 3 musicians, singers, or a band dead or alive, who would you have at your birthday party?
Oh, definitely BB King would be one. I have such eclectic musical taste. Everything from, probably Hans Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. Unbelievable sound or music for movie score music. And then does Denai Guerrero sing? No, I'm kidding.
We can
You
ask
ain't
her.
right.
Probably, probably Taylor Swift, because I mean, I love some of her music. I don't really listen to a lot of it, but I've obviously grown up in a house with Swifties. I hear it all the time, and there's plenty I love, but more just because I'm so in such awe of her and what she's accomplished, and how incredibly business savvy she was and is, and how she took the situation she went through with Scooter Braun and the stealing of her music, and not stealing of her music, but control of her music, and how she dealt with that instead of just giving into it, or getting caught up in spending tons of money on lawsuits and getting bitter and talking bad about people. She just went out and redid it and ended up doing twice as good with it. And I'm very impressed with how she's done that and the success that she's had. That would be a cool thing to have a dinner there with those three people.
And your last question, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you enter the pearly gates?
Michonne's not here yet.
Michonne's not here yet.
You did good. You did good. You know what I mean?
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Kirk, it's been an absolute pleasure having you.
No, the pleasure's been mine, ladies. You guys are wonderful. You have a great show, and I love the structure of it and how you run it. And Eliza, I can't thank you enough for all the support you give me in my work, and all you've done to help promote me, and I can't thank you enough.
Oh.
Well, we love you.
Love you guys too.
Thank you so much, Kirk.
Yes.
No, thank you.
And we'll be calling
Thank
you
you,
for those
everyone.
commissions.
Yeah, we'll be calling you for commissions.
Yeah, we need another vacation.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
And I'm sorry I missed Carol. Please give my regards to her and let her know that I wish she'd been able to be here.
Yes.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us on a Thursday night. And don't forget about Monday night. We're going to be starting an hour early that we can accommodate Matthew's schedule. So be sure to join us at 6 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
All right. We love you.
Love you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care now.